So slab furniture is both classic and contemporary. It looks good in everything from an office to a restaurant to a residential home. And nobody does slabs better than URBN Timber in Columbus, Ohio, where I am right now. Today I'm teaming up with Treg Sherman, co-founder of URBN Timber, and he's going to help walk us through 4 tips and guidelines to pick out the best slab for your project. That's coming up next on The Honest Carpenter Show. Tip number 1, playing around durability. There are some obvious factors in picking out a slab. Size, for instance. You don't want a table slab that takes up a whole dining room, but you want it big enough to fit all your seats. And of course, you'll be selective about color and grain appearance and shape, but those things are based more on personal preference. Something that often gets overlooked is durability. Hardwoods, softwoods, and even so-called soft hardwoods have different grain densities. Their hardness is measured on something called the Janka scale, which determines how well they resist scarring. Woods like pine and cedar and other conifers are great for paneling and even shelving, but they're softwoods. They don't resist impacts well, so they scratch, dent, and bruise easily. This means they're not great for high-traffic surfaces, things like desks, tables, and countertops. You'll want to write on these surfaces, work on them, set dishes down on them, so consider making these slabs out of the hardest hardwoods available, species like red oak, white oak, hickory, ash, and hard maple. Softer hardwoods like elm, walnut, and soft maple will tend to scar a little more easily, which can be frustrating. You can definitely still use them, and you can even use pine and cedar slabs if that's what's sourced in your area. But for these softer woods, you'll want to go with a much thicker epoxy finish to make sure that you have long-term durability, whereas high-density hardwoods will have more natural resistance to damage and require only lighter finishes. Tip number 2, know your moisture content. Treg and URBN Timber insist that moisture content is a key concern in sourcing and preparing a slab. If you're getting a slab for a project, insist on knowing the actual moisture content when you receive it. Acceptable parameters are about 8 to 12% MC. It takes a long time to get wood down into this range. To dry out large slabs for usage, URBN Timber may stick or stack their sections for up to 12 to 24 months. They'll then kiln dry them slowly as well, often for 8 to 12 weeks, at a temp range of about 90 to 120 degrees. They'll finish with a slight temperature bump to 145 for 3 days to kill pests in the wood. By drying this slowly, they avoid symptoms like case hardening, which can result in tiny cracks throughout the core of the lumber. So when you order a slab, find out how long ago it was cut and what process was used to dry it. If possible, use a Pinless meter to read moisture content at the surface and core of the lumber. You want it to be uniform throughout the piece. Also, be sure to stick or stack your slab to let air flow all around it for a few weeks before using it. This will let it acclimate to its new environment, helping to stabilize it before sealing and finishing. Tip number 3, evaluate flatness. Slabs are just prone to bad warpage, and the wider a slab you purchase, the worse its cupping or twisting may be. To achieve a truly flat slab, URBN Timber will often plane down high spots over a series of days. They'll work both sides of a board using a flatbed CNC machine to pare away small layers of warpage. By doing this, they give the board time to adjust to its new shape. So, through careful, controlled routing, they gradually bring it to a decent level of flatness. They call this process surfacing, and it can't be rushed. They'll then follow it up with a sanding, typically to 120 grit quality. These, finally, are the unfinished slabs they send out to woodworkers and DIYers across the country. Once individuals get these slabs, they're still advised to stick or stack them for a couple weeks to let airflow around them constantly. A piece is only truly stable once it has finally been sealed and finished. And that brings us to tip number 4, consider outsourcing. If this video provides any firm conclusion, it's that slab production is not nearly as simple as it seems. From initial layer cutting to final epoxy finishing, every step of the process is fraught with possible failures. For this reason, you should decide early on at what point you want to engage in the process and consider outsourcing certain tasks. For instance, if you want a truly raw slab but don't have a way of cutting tree sections, you may want to hire someone with a portable sawmill, like my friend Roy Lynch in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Then, once you have your slab section, you'll need to handle the drying out process, which means you may need to buy space in someone's local wood kiln. Some mills hire this space out at anywhere from 50 cents to $2 a board foot. Then, once your slab is kiln dried to a low moisture content, you'll need to tackle the careful surfacing process as well. You may want to invest in an affordable CNC router or hand the task over to a woodworking shop that has one. And finally, you'll need to carry out the chemical sealing process to bring a piece to a truly finished quality. This is a whole complex profession unto itself. Suffice it to say that any one of these steps will require an extremely careful, thought-out approach. If you don't feel up to it, then have another pro do that part for you and carry on with what you're comfortable with. And if you're just mystified by the whole process, consider simply using URBN Timber as a source for all phases of this work. The true masters of wood slab production. From their shop headquarters in Columbus, Ohio, they're willing to ship out surfaced and sanded slabs, as well as the best sealing and finishing products on the market. And in their custom woodworking shop, they also produce fully finished slab furniture. Beautiful designs that include epoxy river tables with metallic pigments, waterfall tables, and other simple but elegant finished slabs of varying species. All of their lumber is locally and sustainably sourced from the central Ohio region. They're the epitome of a small but highly devoted craft company. I'm going to link all their contacts below in the description. Be sure to check out their amazing Instagram page as well as their company website. If you have any questions about their products and services, please feel free to reach out to them. And if you're in the Columbus area, you have to stop by and check out their storeroom. You'll see slab tables and benches that can't be rivaled anywhere. What did you think? Are you a fan of slab furniture? Have you been looking for an accent piece for your home or a bare slab for a woodworking project? Let me know down below. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to check back in for more videos coming out weekly, and please consider subscribing and hitting the little bell button to turn on notifications. That way you'll know the moment we post something. I'm Ethan James with TheHonestCarpenter.com. I'll see you next time.